Happy Friday, everybody. I hope this video finds you well. I am a little later this Friday than normal, but it is all good. I'm hoping everybody has had a great day so far. It's been a beautiful day outside, very busy, very productive. Like I have said the past couple of weeks, I want to get on at the end of the week and talk about some of the things that I've posted throughout the week. I want to ensure that I am contributing in educating and empowering everyone to vote informed and to understand critical thinking and to press past the fluff and the feel-good talk and all of the good stuff and look at what is actually being demonstrated on a daily basis and in the past, not just now and all of a sudden. That is so important. So before I get started with the things that I want to talk about for this week, I just want to remind us that we do have a current election going on. Early voting is going on until October 31st for the special election for Public Service Commissioner. Please vote. Please vote. And you can find some information on my page as it regards why this election is so important. I believe since 2020, the rates for the electricity bill has went up a significant amount each year. And so let's try something new. Okay, let's try something new. Let's try some new people and let's see if we can get the electric bill to go down to work in favor of the citizens. So special election for Public Service Commissioner is going on right now. You can vote early at the City Services Center, right there off of Macon Road. And the time is from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. every day. So Monday through Friday, let me be specific, Monday through Friday. There's no voting on the weekends, I believe. And so you have until the 31st to vote early at that location. And then after that, you'll have to vote at your specific precinct. And that voting day will be in November, okay? So please go in. There's no line. It's too easy. You do your vote and you're out of there, okay? It's very important that we unmute our voices and we contribute to democracy and we fight for the change that we want to see. It's not enough to complain about it. It's not enough to talk to someone else about it. We actually have to do our part and vote. So again, please vote. You have until the 31st for early election, and then in November you can vote as well if you don't get a chance to vote now. But it's too easy to vote right now, Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. right there on Macon Road at the City Services Center. Moving right along, it is election season. Woo! And the candidates will qualify between March 2nd and 6th of next year. So 2026 is when everybody will know for sure who's running, who's qualified to run by March 6th of 2026, okay? And then election day is May 19th, 2026, and I don't know when they're going to do early voting, but again, I am a fan of early voting. Get in, get out, no issues. Our candidates that are running and have started early, getting out into the community, sharing what they're about and their platforms, absolutely wonderful. But please know that March 2nd through the 6th is when we're going to know exactly who's qualified to run and who will be running. So, it may look thin now. It may look like, people are having good common sense and common courtesy to, we're going to support here and support there. But just please keep some discernment in mind, keep some wisdom in mind that, it's not over, as the saying goes, until the sings. So March 2nd, 2026 is when we'll know for sure who's qualified to run and who will be running for specific districts. So stay the course, continue to do what you need to do, and don't let up. Be strategic, demonstrate your leadership. Hopefully you've already demonstrated your leadership throughout the years, because of course, that's exactly what I'm going to be teaching on and exposing and showing to citizens weekly, because it's so important. This election season is so important. The fact that we have a leader in the United States of America who has 34 felony convictions is unreal. And I am not exactly sure like how people, do the math in their mind to weigh the pros and the cons and then decide that, this is the person that should reflect us as a people. And this is the person who should represent the United States as the ultimate leader. I have no idea how you come to those conclusions. However, locally, we cannot make those same mistakes. Local elections matter, and we cannot make those same mistakes. There are so many of us right now that are not even registered to vote, okay? And sometimes people are spending time in those communities, and these people are like, yeah, you cool, we support you, and they're not even registered to vote. So I'm telling you, candidates, if you're gonna go to places, if you're gonna hang out and spend time, make it productive. Make sure you have somebody in your camp, in your campaign, who has been trained, who can register people to vote, help them vote, teach them where to vote or register to vote, log them on and help them through the process. Make sure they have IDs, the basic things that they need to be able to vote, or you wasting your time. You are wasting your time. So, strategically, as a team, as a campaign, you need to do a SWOT analysis, and you need to make sure every area is covered and that you're just not wasting your time waving and smiling and hanging out and all of that good stuff and not really gaining any votes. Okay? Now, I'm going to say my topic for today is that you can't fake leadership. You can't fake it. You can't pretend to have it. It's just something that is very obvious if you have it or if you don't. So, real quick, again, hello everybody. I am Dr. Natalie Nicole. I hope everybody's had a wonderful day. On my page, you can find information about the upcoming election, about my analysis of candidates, and about what's going on in our city at any given time. It's plenty of content. And I'm going to do my best. I will always do my best because it is my, conviction to share facts, share the truth, as it regards citations. Like I'm just not going to make up stuff about people. I try to show the receipts as well. So, let's get into it. I want to talk about leadership, structure, and accountability. Because what I'm seeing right now amongst some of the candidates is just not it. Let's talk about the fact that, and this is what's first thing on my mind. When we look in our city, we have Chick-fil-A. We have about 4 or 5 Chick-fil-A's. And right next to those Chick-fil-A's, we have Wendy's. We have Burger King. We have, what other restaurants do we have? We have, McDonald's. We have all of these different types of restaurants who serve food. Now, mind you, if they spent their time minding what was going on with Burger King or minding what was going on with Wendy's or minding what was going on with Hardee's, they wouldn't be doing good business. So I hope that makes sense, right? So it doesn't matter who's running next to you, in front of you, beside you, and, behind you. It doesn't matter. It is your responsibility to focus on running a good race and then also making sure that you are demonstrating your platform to the best of your ability. To make up excuses that people are, copying your material or sharing your material or doing the same thing you're doing, that's so high school. It is so immature. It's 2025. People take intellectual property all the time. We have social media. People share and they learn and they implement what have you. It doesn't matter. It can't be a focus. And to me, it highlights another weakness in leadership if that's what you're focused on. Okay. Whoever's taking your material and sharing your material or repeating your material or creating events similar to, who cares? Who cares? It doesn't matter. What matters is that you focus on whatever your prize is, whatever your goal is, whatever success looks like to you. You can't be focused and spread thin worrying about the next person, because that's how you lose elections. That's how you lose, period. So I just want to put that out there. Burger King didn't decide, oh, well, I'm not going to open, or I'm not going to share, my ingredients or whatever, because McDonald's might be on my website checking it out and trying to copy me. Who cares? That's the last thing that a business is worried about. And that should be the last thing that a candidate is worried about. If you know what you're doing, what's for you is for you. It just does not matter who tries to duplicate it. They're not you. They can't ever be you. So it doesn't matter. Okay. Now, I want to talk about just leadership in general, because I feel like I watched the interview the other day, and it was a great interview. And it was, like watching Gayle King or Oprah, because she was asking the tough questions. And, kudos to the candidate for answering the questions honestly, because that's what we need, is honesty, so we can make informed decisions. But I feel like, there are several candidates who are just, going from A to Z with nothing in between and expecting for citizens to overlook it. Most of us are not overlooking it. We're not. And so I think back to, being in the military. And if there's anybody out there who can track with me real quickly, right? When you transition from enlisted to non-commissioned officer, you have to go before a board. And usually that board is made up of 5 to 6 first sergeants, right? So you're a specialist or you're a corporal, and you're getting ready to transition to NCO, Sergeant E5. And you have to stand before a board of 5 to 6 company first sergeants, people who are seasoned leaders, who know exactly what they're looking for and what they're looking at. And they can tell from the moment you walk in and stand at parade rest and say, Sergeant so-and-so or Specialist so-and-so or Corporal so-and-so is reporting, to the board, if you have it or if you don't, okay? Not only are they looking at what you look like and how you present yourself, but then they're testing your knowledge, your ability to communicate what leadership looks like and is, right? So they're asking you questions. It's going from first sergeant to next first sergeant. They're asking you questions in different parts of intellect, Army intellect, that's required for you to know as an NCO. And so if you miss so many questions, it's a no-go at this station. If you come in and your uniform is wrinkled or your hair is out of, policy, or you're out of policy, facial, nails, what have you, whatever, beard, whatever it is, man or female, then you're an automatic no-go. And I went through that process, but I also worked in the S1. So we processed their packages, and we knew, every detail, who got to go, who got to no-go. But what stood out the most is that you cannot fake readiness. No matter what you say, no matter where you go, no matter where you start hanging out, you can't fake it. You cannot fake it. And you can't talk your way through it like with fluff, okay? Right now, I've seen several videos from, people who, I get it. We have notes, we keep note cards so we can make sure we're on point about the things that we want to say. However, when you are reading an entire script for your videos, it's because you don't have the heart or the conviction to come forth and tell the people who you really are and what you really want to do in our community. And I want y'all to pay attention to this. I want y'all to look at those videos, and I want you to see, like what I see, that person is reading an entire script. And after 3 years in service, if you don't know your district like the back of your hand, if you don't know the things that you have initiated, the things that you've solved, if you don't have your KPIs ready to rattle off, you're not leadership material, period. Period. So you have to demonstrate it. You have to show up. You have to know that leadership is proven and not something that you just put on and flick on for the sake of holding a position or a title or trying to obtain likes and support. Okay. I'm just, I'm excited about the program All Hands on Deck, right? But I know there's a young lady right now who has an organization, throw it in the bag, right? And I share her video on my page. She don't need notes to talk about what's going on, what they're doing, how often and how long they've been doing it, because it's from her heart. It's pure service. It's pure servant leadership. And that's the difference between somebody who is really caring about her community and other parts of the community, and not just trying to gain a social status or a position for whatever, God knows what reason. Okay. And I just want us to pay attention to that. Like, we have to be able to use our critical thinking skills, and we have to be able to see, what's real and what's not. And, I get it, being kind and being nice and all of those good things. That's great. However, kind and nice does not solve homelessness. Kind and nice does not bring businesses to the South Side. Kind and nice does not make sure that our communities are clean and have equal treatment as other communities. Kind and nice does not do that. Smiling and pretending like you care do not get those things accomplished. And it has not gotten those things accomplished for the past 3 years in District 7. So we need proven leadership. We need demonstrated leadership. And we need people who are honestly serious about caring about the entire district before they think that they can care about a mayor, being a mayor in the city. So it's just a whole performance. And it's very sad and it's very sickening. And what's more sickening for me is that how many people cannot see through the foolery. That's what's truly disappointing, is that so many people fall for it. And then year after year, we get the same results that we currently have. So we got to get on the bus and we got to ride around with you, and we got to show you what's going on in our neighborhood, because you're not doing it yourself, because you're not present outside of Oakland Park or maybe Rose Hill to see what else is going on in your district. Okay. It's time consuming when the city should just be doing what they're supposed to be doing in the first place. If you got city managers that got locations or routes that they're riding through on a weekly basis, then they should know what's going on in their route, their area, and their districts. And the very fact that we have leadership right now in District 7 that cannot get certain things to get done for certain areas is the example of poor leadership. Okay? So what I see right now is a lot of marketing. I see a lot of marketing, a lot of posting and, photo ops and, all this googly building rapport with people, trying to make them feel good and sell them a dream. But where are the receipts? Where are the specific receipts that has her name written on them for District 7 that she's accomplished in every area of her district, not certain areas? Okay? It's not about personality. It's not about performance. Like, when someone is entrusted with public responsibility, you don't get to look the part and fail the test. And she has failed the test. And so she goes to meetings at Oakland Park. And so she's built a rapport over there with, you know, Oakland Park, their housing association or whatever she has. What has she done for the rest of the parts of her district? And maybe she centers herself in that area because it's a large, organized situation. She doesn't really have to work hard. She just has to show up. Okay? What about the rest of it? That's Wild Wild West in 31901. What about that part? Okay? So we want leadership, people who know their policies, you know, people who are not just posturing for votes, but actually serving people. We want them to do what they say they're going to do the entire time that they're in office, not when it's election time or not when they're running for something else, you know, to take another seat. So there is a difference, and we can tell the difference. And I hope that in sharing some of these things for you to look for, that we all are on one sheet of music and seeing the difference, and our expectations are higher. When you say you want to be a leader, then that means you're not an average Joe. You're not an average person. You're not a citizen that can walk by something and see it and be like, who cares? No big deal. It's not my problem. When you say you want to serve the people, you don't walk by things, you don't drive by things and are okay with them being out of shape. You don't go down South Lumpkin and see a whole plaza that is full of what? Or pass by a plaza that has trash, a business that's full of trash and debris all over the place, and you don't say anything about it. You don't do anything about it. That's not leadership. And that's really what I want people to understand, is that either you're not riding through your neighborhoods and you don't see this stuff, you don't know what's going on, or you are when you go to Oakland Park for your association meetings, you see it and you keep it moving. You turn a blind eye to it. So I want us to pay attention to those things, because when you ask to be a leader, you know that you're not average. You're not the average citizen. You're not somebody who like, oh, that's not my problem. I'm not concerned about it. No, you're signing up to serve the people, and you should be signing up to serve them in excellence. So what I want us to look for as we go into this election cycle, okay, I'm asking us for us to raise the standards, for us to use our critical thinking, for us to be very aware of fluff when we see it and when we hear it, okay? We want to be able to see that they have demonstrated year after year, day after day, month after month, community service, or taking up initiatives in our communities that need help, that need change, not because they are looking for a position, but because that's who they are inherently. They are a leader, they care, and therefore they insert themselves to support and change things that need to be changed without a position or a title. Okay, we're looking for competence. Okay, you know, this area here is a learning curve for me, but you put me in front of a classroom. I'm an ELA teacher background. Gase is in ELA, English and Language Arts. I don't need notes. I don't need to read a paper and teach my class, right? I don't need to do that. I can talk to them. I can walk around my class. I can be comfortable. I can know the facts. I can teach it, because that's who I am. That's what I've studied. That's what I know. Okay. And so when I see a leader having to read a script for her commercials, I don't see a leader. I don't see anybody that has conviction or real passion for her community. I see a puppet. I see somebody that's not prepared. I see somebody that has to read a script to say the right things to gain votes. And that's not okay. Okay? That is not okay. She is reading scripts on most of her videos. Most of them. Okay. So if we can't pass the leadership test as a district person, we definitely can't pass it as a mayor, And I want us to raise the bar, and I want us to make sure that we get more than talk, we get transformation. And because this person in District 7 has been in there for 3 years, and I cannot say that she's transformed anything in District 7, it's a no-go at this station. She does not get to get our support again as mayor, because she didn't show us during this time that she cared enough about us to make sure that our communities were safe, that speeding was checked, that tires weren't stacked up and built up all over the place, that trash and things on the ROWs were not taken care of. Like she didn't care to take care of those things. Now, I did see Public Works in the community this week, right? And so I'm not sure if that was because the bus was coming through with all hands on the deck, and you know, maybe they wanted to mow the lawns and things of that nature. But you know, there's no consistency there. There's no systems there. Things that have been communicated and asked and requested and have not been done. You know, also there's a dashboard that was requested that so we could see real time from district to district how they are mowing the lawns and how they are picking up the trash and how they are taking care of requests. And also that if I put in a request, that my neighbor also put in a request, that we're not continuing to put in the same request multiple times. So our systems are outdated. Our technology is vulnerable, according to the audit that the young man gave at our last council meeting. There are so many things that are just outdated and not in place that it is absolutely ridiculous. And I can't believe it. I can't believe it. And so I have concern when we have a city council. Now, I do know for sure that one of the councilors in District 4, she has mentioned standard operating procedures before. She's mentioned KPIs. She's mentioned certain things because I imagine she has a military background that contributes and lends to her wisdom and experiencing and knowing like that's how you do business. You have to set a tone. You have to set standards and expectations in order for people to know the direction of which they are going. They don't even have evaluations as a standard practice from department to department. So how do people know what right looks like? It makes sense why finance was jacked up, but it doesn't make sense to have somebody, a deputy city manager, who's the finance director, getting 6 figures, and that's supposed to be her area of expertise, and her S1, I was about to say her S1, and I mean her shop, her department is jacked up, like to the 3rd degree. How she still has a job, I have no idea. And certain people don't. So, you know, I'm still trying to make sense of things and how they work, because it's like, you know, I not only charge the person that was over the finance department as incompetent, but the people who are not paying attention. Like, this is stuff that didn't happen overnight. It's been years and years and years. And all of those council members, most of them, with the exception of the new ones and the exception of District 4, who can't make policies and vote on policies by herself and implement them, either they didn't know any better or they did and they didn't care to know any better. So all of this is reactive behavior. Oh, there's a problem. Well, let's just fire people. But I hold them just as accountable as I do the people they fired and the person that still has a job. So we really have to pay attention. And again, like, this area is a learning curve for me, and I'm really having to do my research and study and make things make sense and ask questions. And, you know, we all have to do that. If not, as taxpayers, we are getting taken advantage of. We're getting taken advantage of. We're not being treated properly. The funds are being spent how they want to be spent. Like, you know, I'll say this and then I'll be done here. You know, when they were talking about TAD, and then developing in South Commons or South Columbus, District 5 had a problem with that. She wanted to pump the brakes on it. She had an issue with it. We need to put it on, the ballot for the citizens to vote. And I get there may be some technical things of, what have you. But my whole point is that when it comes to South Columbus, when it comes to South Commons, whatever they want to call it, we need to put it on the ballot. We need to pump the brakes. But there's nothing being pumped. Brakes are not being pumped in Midland. Brakes are not being pumped in North Columbus. We got 3 or 4 Publix from exit to exit. Same restaurants over and over from exit to exit. Business is booming in Midland. And it doesn't need to be voted on. It doesn't need to go on a ballot to get permission to be done. But anything in South Columbus or South Commons or whatever they call it, oh, we don't need to do that. It was given to the citizens and the citizens need to vote on it, and the citizens, well, you don't listen to the citizens no other time, or you only listen to a select, citizens at a certain time whenever you get good and ready. But District South Columbus and South Commons, the District 7 is not even her district, but she would not support any development over there. So just to recap real quick, we want to make sure that we unmute our voices, that we speak up, we ask questions, we use critical thinking, and that we vote informed. I'm very much strict about people trying to silence our voice because you bring up something that they don't agree with, or they feel like you should keep quiet about it, or, oh, well, that's not being nice. Miss me with that, because in every situation, you have to acknowledge what the problem is in order to get to a solution. We can't be acting like we don't see it, we don't know it, or not calling it what it is. We have to confront it, we have to acknowledge it, and then we have to move toward a solution. And in District 7, the solution is her having several seats. We get a new District 7 representative in, and because she did not do well as a District 7 person, she cannot be our mayor. And District 5, because the disrespect is so blatant, and she is criminalizing homelessness, and she is criminalizing clergy and African-American people, and she is demeaning the credibility of, directors in the government, talking about colorism, where she is empowering systematic racism in her actions. She needs to have several seats. And all I can do is just pray that there is somebody being prepared to contest and take her seat, because she does not represent Columbus. So she might represent some of us, but she does not represent the majority of us. And there is no way that we can tolerate another term of blatant disrespect. Not another term. So that's all I have to say. Make sure you vote. Have a great weekend. Follow my page. Scroll down, up and down. You're going to see a lot of information. You're going to see the facts regarding candidates and regarding things that have been going on in District 7 for the past 2 years. Okay? Not making it up is not personal. And that's another thing I want to say really quick as it regards leadership. Leadership doesn't have a color. It doesn't have a male or a female attached to it. Leadership is what it is. And you either have it and operate it and demonstrate in it, or you don't. It's just that simple. It's not personal. Have a wonderful weekend, rest of the evening, everybody. Thank you very much. And talk to you all later. See you all next week.